as your true self makes your life a fuller, more wonderful thing. I sound like a Hallmark card.
Oh, yeah, but live for it. Live for that Hallmark
But it was
card.
true. It's true.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Pop in the Culture, your weekly entertainment check-in. Me, you know me by now. I'm your host with the most, Mojo. That's right, it's Mr. Hollywood himself, Matt Demers. Trust me when I tell you, an amazing show is coming your way. I'm speaking with Jim Parsons, Ben Aldridge. They're talking their new movie, spoiler alert. Plus, I got the author that wrote the memoir that it's based on. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. But first, as we do, we're jumping into it. Here's your Hollywood headlines. All right, everyone, we begin with the sweeping changes taking place over at Warner Brothers Discovery's DC Studios.
Aquaman is literally huge and he's so manly, and Batman is so cool, and I'm just me.
James Gunn, one of the two new heads of the studio, revealed that the DC universe will be connected across not only film, but television and animation going forward. So long, Arrowverse.
It was not supposed to be like this. This is not his ending I foresaw.
And interestingly enough, during a follow-up question with a fan online, Gunn confirmed that DC video games will be considered canon as well.
Nothing can stop what's coming.
Let's play.
Tonight is mine.
As for the comic books, well, Gunn states there will be open communication, but he and his CEO partner, Peter Safran, will not be in charge of the comics, rather just filmed DC entertainment.
How will I keep my excellent friend?
That sounds like a you problem. Thanks for coming out.
You already said that.
All right, well, here to share his hot takes with me today is Watch Mojo's very own Ricky Tucci. Ricky, starting with James Gunn and DC's new connectivity approach. Is this the best idea, or is this just kind of a ripoff of the MCU playbook?
I mean, look, the MCU playbook is very successful, so I would imagine that everybody at DC is looking at it and saying, how can we emulate it? How can we get that same success? I'm excited at the enthusiasm to move forward with it and to really bring the DCEU on the footing of Marvel. I'm wary about all of these disparate productions happening, so we'll see. I'm rooting for them.
All right, well, moving on to movie news, as Antonio Banderas has revealed the actor that he'd most want to take over as Zorro in the Vigilante movie franchise.
Adventure starts with a Z. So the devil will know who sent you.
Yep, the star of 1998's The Mask of Zorro and 2005's The Legend of Zorro said in an interview that he would love to pass the Zorro mask onto his Uncharted co-star, Tom Holland.
What?
Oh, crap!
But why? Well, according to Antonio, Holland is energetic and fun, so why not?
Dude!
The Spanish actor also said that he himself would be open to appearing in a third Zorro movie, and like Anthony Hopkins did for him, he also would be happy to pass the torch onto someone else.
You know how to use that thing?
Yes. The pointy end goes into the other man.
This is going to take a lot of work.
Okay, Ricky, it's important to note that not all actors who have played Zorro have been Hispanic, but Tom Holland, inspired choice or WTF?
I just don't think that Tom Holland needs to do another iconic role. I think he's got Spider-Man. I think we should give the limelight to somebody else. And I feel like this about a lot of different projects. I'm not a fan of giving like new breakout roles that could potentially just start something to somebody that we've seen in another breakout role. I want to see new faces, new talent. I want something good to come out of this. So for me, love Tom Holland. It's a hard no.
It's only one man. It isn't just one man, damn it. It's Zorro.
All right, Ricky, well, moving on to something just a little bit different, as Will Smith is back in front of the cameras to promote his upcoming movie, and he's not shying away from addressing the now infamous Oscar slap.
there's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I lost it.
Among other things, Smith says that he absolutely understands and respects moviegoers who might not be ready to see his new movie because of, well, the onstage assault of comedian Chris Rock at last year's Oscars.
And he's on my lap and he's holding the Oscar, and he's just like, "Why did you hit that man, Uncle Will?"
Will further says that he hopes his past actions don't penalize the team. This is something that he says he's actually lost sleep over.
My deepest hope is that my actions don't penalize my team.
We should note that the film in question is titled Emancipation and is coming to Apple TV Plus, centering on Will's character who must use everything he has to escape from slavery.
I will look in triumph at my enemies.
Ricky, Will Smith on The Daily Show said he was definitely going through something that night. Listen, will the Oscar slap ever go away, or will it continue to haunt Will Smith?
I don't think you shouldn't watch this movie because of the slap. I think it's also an important movie historically. And I don't think that it's going to follow him forever, but it's still really fresh, right? It just happened. So it seems that way. Like with everything and with a lot of these Hollywood stars, something happens, a scandal, a couple of years later, everybody's kind of moved on to the next one. So he'll be fine.
But they never break me.
Okay, Ricky, moving on to Disney's Strange World, and there's perhaps no other way to put it, as the animated adventure film is an utter box office bomb.
We're doomed. We are doomed!
Wait, seriously?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Didn't see that coming.
Oh yes, the Jake Gyllenhaal voice starring animated feature debut dramatically below expectations, with a very sad $18.6 million over the typically profitable Thanksgiving holiday weekend, no less.
We talked about this. I can't. I need you to take care of the farm while I'm gone. Now please, go home with Mom.
Wait, but Dad... The results are so bad that the film is on pace to lose the House of Mouse over $100 million. Yikes.
I know what to do.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, Ricky, was it just poor marketing? Was the storyline just too progressive for some people? What says you?
I'll be honest, I barely saw any marketing for this film at all. Like on YouTube, like nothing. So I didn't even know Jake Gyllenhaal was in this movie. Disney has also been putting out a lot of stuff on Disney Plus, which has been kind of taking away from the big releases, which were used to being Marvel releases in theaters. And so I feel like this is a Disney Plus movie. They should not have released this in theaters.
Everything down here is trying to kill us.
Okay, well, last for us on this week's Hollywood Headlines, Ricky, is a look at the latest controversy surrounding embattled actor Kevin Spacey.
It gets better. It does get better. Happy holidays, everyone.
Spacey, a two-time Oscar winner, is not only set to appear in a UK court over several new charges of sexual assault allegations next summer, he's also set to star in a new movie. Titled Control, the indie thriller will also be filmed in London, England.
The 62-year-old is accused of assaulting 3 men in England between 2005 and 2013.
However, just a month ago, a New York jury found the actor not liable in a civil sexual misconduct trial brought on by Star Trek Discovery actor Anthony Rapp.
Now, the jury really delivered a quick verdict after hearing closing arguments earlier today. The trial lasted for 3 weeks. Rapp was seeking more than $40 million in damages.
Okay, Ricky, Kevin Spacey's got a new gig. Good for him, or a big mistake by the filmmakers?
Ooh, first off, big mistake by the filmmakers. When someone has 7 people accusing them of the kind of things that he's being accused of, you try to steer clear of hiring them to do any creative work that, or having your work be represented by their voice, which I think is what he's doing, a voiceover role in a film. So, I don't know really what they were thinking. I know Kevin Spacey's iconic. I know, he's obviously an incredible actor, but under this kind of scrutiny right now, I think it's a mistake to go tap him when there are plenty of other unproblematic, talented people that could have done the job just as well.
I thought I told you to run. Go. I'll deal with the cops.
Hey, Ricky, I can't thank you enough for helping me break it all down today.
It's a pleasure, Matt. Always happy to be here.
But I can't have you leave just yet because me and you, we got to take a little trip. You know the trip. It's beyond
the list.
All right, Ricky, you know the drill. This is where we dig deep in the vast archives of Watch Mojo, pluck out an old top 10 list, go beyond the list. What does it mean? Well, it just means me and you just to go through it and have a little bit of fun, riff on it. Today will be interesting because I know you love some superhero shows and movies. I do too. These are 10 best superhero shows that are not Marvel or DC. 10. I'm trying to think of if there's... there must be 10. We'll find out.
Yeah. Let's go.
So we can include like things like Image Comics or just superheroes in general, I'm sure. We'll go through it and we'll talk about it. Number 10 on here. Oh, okay, of course. I remember this one. Do you remember Heroes? Heroes?
Of course. Yeah. One of the first, especially on TV. Yeah. That was a great show. I didn't finish it, but it was a great show at the time. Hayden Panettiere and
what was it? Save the cheerleader. Save the world. I'm pretty sure that was the tagline. Yeah.
That was the tagline. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was great. No, I remember seeing that too. What was it? Yeah, 2006. So mid 2000s. I remember being like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And you're right when you said I didn't finish it. Not a lot of people did because, and here's what happened: in the middle of the friggin' show's big success, there was a writer's strike.
So, yes, you're right. Yeah.
So
they couldn't. About that.
Yeah, so they couldn't make new episodes. There was a whole big break, and then of course the next batch of episodes were not up to par. People lost interest, and it just went down. It's too bad. It's too bad because I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good.
Especially at the time. I mean, superhero shows weren't out on TV really in 2006. So
yeah, and this was quality stuff. I love the tone of it, and I think they tried to bring it back. A couple years back, and it was Heroes Reborn, I think they called it.
That's right. Yeah.
But the quality wasn't good. I remember them being like, did they skimp on the budget? Like what?
It was Zachary. I think Zachary Quinto was part of that too.
Yes,
it wasn't. It wasn't that great.
It wasn't like the OG original. I want to revisit that first season because that was classic stuff.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, we're starting strong. Here. Number 9's interesting. I guess it earns its place on the list. What do you think of the Powerpuff Girls?
Oh yeah, classic. I grew up watching Powerpuff Girls. It's that they're making a show on the W. On the W? I don't know what something on the EW. Live action. They've gone back and forth, delaying it because they don't want to do it the disservice. But the original show is great. It's a lot of fun. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was a cool concept. So yeah, well deserved at number 9 for sure.
They did a spin-off, Powerpuff Girls and the Teen Titans Go. Episode.
Yes, you're right.
Really fun. I love those
awesome.
Those two shows, and they combined them. But yeah, Powerpuff Girls definitely deserves a spot. But yeah, I totally heard about this live action series, so I'm so interested because sometimes when they adapt these things, it goes right, and sometimes it can go so wrong. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, I think that earns its spot on the list for sure. Number 8, I have no idea what this was, and I had to do a little search, and now I'm kind of interested. It was a show called Raising Dion, and apparently this is a Netflix series. It ran from 2019 to 2022, so just this year. It's over. Did you ever see this?
I saw it on Netflix. I saw that it was like a superhero, a kid kind of coming to terms with his powers and learning about it. But I didn't push play. I think I was too distracted with all of Disney's offerings in the genre.
Well, for me, you know what for me was the title. It doesn't sound superhero. It sounds like
it's
a drama,
something on NBC.
Like Raising Dion. Okay,
Days of Our Lives.
Something my mom would watch.
Yeah, I think they could have picked a better title for sure. But yeah, it didn't get a lot of eyeballs on it. It's also, it's a crowded market, the superhero market. They did Brightburn as well, which didn't, pick up really, really strong.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, no, this looks interesting. They're saying it's kind of this hybrid superhero kind of X-Files. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my list. So Watch Mojo has that at number 8. Number 7 is an interesting one for me. A little bit of nostalgia here with The Tick. 2000, early 2000s. What is it? 2001, I think. They had the guy from Seinfeld that plays Putty. He was the Tick. He played the guy.
Yes.
This is such a bizarre hero, but for some reason it works.
It's stuck. Yeah, it's stuck. He's funny. Amazon did a reboot of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
live action. Did a live action reboot of it. I don't know how. I think it was favorably reviewed, but I don't think it got continued. But yes, an old superhero that flies under the radar. Like, everybody kind of knows of the Tick, but like not more than that. You know, they don't know more than that. So.
Well, because the original show wasn't on that long. I know you're talking about the Amazon one. I don't think it was on that long either. So we always kind of have this kind of start and stops. But yeah, we recognize that there's something about the visual of this grown man in that very cartoony costume.
Yes. Antennas.
Fun stuff. Okay, Tick number 7. These are interesting. A little bit of nostalgia. Well, okay, number 6. And by the way, number 6, Watch Mojo. Maybe I would have put this closer to the top. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. How much more? I mean,
right. Yeah, it's like the seminal. They're turtles. They're super powered turtles that eat pizza. I mean, what else is there to say? You know, they're iconic. They're gonna keep coming back in every form imaginable. It's gonna go on forever. Ninja Turtles. I definitely think it should have been a little closer to the bottom.
Did you ever read? Because I think the show was very like, if you I mean, obviously this is people's childhoods. I'm not dumping on it because I watched every episode. Who am I kidding? But it's very childish. Like, it's very juvenile, and especially they toned down the violence like so much as it went on. But the comics. Did you ever read like the source material, as you call it? Because they're pretty friggin' violent. The original stuff.
Really. I would imagine they live in a sewer. They're a bunch of ninjas. They killed, like, I mean...
kill.
I don't...
In the comics, they kill.
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Christopher Nolan's Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, forget Michael Bay.
Yeah, forget Michael Bay.
Christopher Nolan's. Give me something different.
Those... That's right.
Seth Rogen? Yeah, Seth Rogen is working on a new Ninja Turtles. I think it's live action. God. Yeah.
At Amazon? Is it going to be like The Boys?
I don't know, but is Seth Rogen behind it? That's going to be interesting. But yeah, the Turtles will live forever. I think you're absolutely right. Great stuff. But yeah, maybe the show was a little too juvenile, that original series. But is there a new one? I haven't kept track because they've done a few.
There's a couple of more animated series on Netflix now with cool updated animation style. But I don't know how mature they are. I think they're still treading the realm of children.
There you go. Well, they're for kids. What can we do? I'm not going to. Number 5 is something called Misfits. This one's a little, another one of those that went kind of over my head. I missed it, I guess. What is Do you know what this is?
Yeah, this is a great show. This show is actually amazing. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons. It's a British show, and it's just about a bunch of inmates essentially at like a I don't know if it's a school or a prison. I can't remember, but they all have different powers. And they all use them. It's kind of it's very unhinged. It's very cool. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's like The Boys, but it's in that spirit where like they take the superhero genre and they kind of flip it over and they make it about like a bunch of kids, a bunch of teenagers just like getting back at each other and doing this and that. It's really fun.
And this is live action?
It's live action, yeah.
There's a show, and I don't think it's on this list, so I'll just mention it quickly. It's called Deadly Class. It didn't last longer than a season.
Okay.
I really liked it. It was about like a high school for like gangster kids and like ninja it was like the bad guys kids went to this underground high school called Deadly Class. I dug it. It only had 1 season, but it was, like you said, unhinged. So kind of you drew back some parallels. Number 4, we got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. People love the Rangers.
Oh man, the Rangers are everywhere. There's like a million seasons of. I grew up like obsessed with Power Rangers, obsessed.
Yeah.
And yeah. Like I had all the Morphin Time stuff. I had all the toys. I loved the White Ranger at one point, and the Green Ranger. They were like my favorite.
Yeah, I was a sucker for the Green Tommy, who recently passed away.
Which is
so sad. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I had a lot of Power Ranger memorabilia. I enjoyed the they did some movies. Remember the Ivan?
Yes. The classic movies are great, but they're still kicking, man. They're still pumping out seasons, and people watching it. I think it's pretty cool because it's from Japan. So it's like the Japanese superhero take on it, Ultraman style. It's cool.
So much stuff. You know what, too? I was at the comic book shop and I picked up a Power Rangers comic. I was like, I gotta, just for old time's sake. And I enjoyed the heck out of it. They're telling all these interesting stories. Yeah, they got some great writers. So they're on TV, they're in the comics. I hope they do another movie. The last one they did in 2017 didn't do well at the box office. I thought it was not a bad movie. It was an interesting take, but I really hope they expand that franchise on the big screen because I think there's lots of potential there.
There is lots of potential. They got to take it in a more mature direction, I feel, too.
Yeah, because the TV's made to be campy, right? If you watch the shows on, it's very campy, but that's because, like you said, they're taking from the Japanese stuff, so it's made to be that way, but it's still fun. Okay, number 3, we're getting close, and I'm actually surprised about how much quality and big time stuff we have that's not Marvel or DC. Number 3 is called The Umbrella Academy, obviously Netflix, a breakout hit. Its final season will be its next one, but made a big splash over there on Netflix.
Yeah, this is one of the shows that I haven't actually watched, but I've just heard a ton of. No, I haven't. I haven't checked it out. But obviously it's got a great cast. Actually, one of the cast members was on Misfits. I don't know what his name is. The guy with the long long curly hair and the makeup on his eyes.
Okay, wow, probably Claude. Or Klaus.
Yeah, and that's where that's where I recognize him from, Misfits. So he kind of transferred to the superhero show again. But it's one that everybody talks about, and it's just I haven't gotten around to it, but it's finishing up, so I'll have 4 seasons to just binge.
Yeah, and they're a fun watch too. It's we're dealing with time travel, and these characters have really great chemistry together. It's like cool. At the end of the day, it's a family show.
It's a family,
even though they're not blood related, but it's really great stuff. And like you said, the cast knocks it out of the park.
Cool.
Yeah, watch you some Umbrella Academy for something different. And by the way, the music in that show, we call it the needle drops. Right?
Yeah.
With the action scenes set to montages with music.
Perfect.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pitch perfect. Number 2, you talked about this earlier, Invincible.
Oh man, what a great show. Seth Rogen behind this again, J.K. Simmons, what's his name? Who plays the lead actor, the lead voice from Walking Dead? I'm drawing a blank. Steven Yeun.
Steven Yeun, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. This show is so amazing. I love the serious superhero stuff, and this show just runs with it, man. It is very much, you could tell from the boys and Seth that Seth Rogen is behind it, and he's got some crazy ideas. But everything about it is amazing. I'm very, very excited for season 2, which I'm hoping is going to drop early sometime next year.
I keep waiting for that announcement. I think you're right. This movie the show rather, was so great. And I think what's kind of cool about it is it's animation, but it kind of showed people that animation is not just for kids, right? People like me and you know that there's lots of great stuff for adults or kids at heart.
Yeah.
But people watch this and they're just they're sucked into this animated superhero show as if they would something like Sopranos.
Like a DC show, or even the DC animated films are great too, and I really enjoy those, and I think they're great. And this is just a step above that. It just really, really puts the pedal to the metal. So
the writing is fantastic, and the voice cast is great. Yeah, definitely watch Invincible. You'll laugh. There's brutality. Hide the kids and just watch it at night.
That's right. Hide the kids. Yeah.
Honorable mentions. I like when Watch Mojo does that because it means there was more choices. It means it was a tough ranking session over there. So they threw some in the honorable mentions. The Max, 1995. This is a deep cut. This was MTV, I think, had this one. The Max. I know this because I follow a lot of the Image comics in the early days.
Right.
And this is an interesting one. A very odd character that kind of lives in this other reality. And there's this girl. It's good. It's for adults, and if you come across it, I don't know where you could watch it now, but yeah. I don't know what this is. I Am Not Okay With This. Came out in 2020.
It's good. I watched that too. It's less like a superhero movie and more just like someone has powers and They're kind of it's like a bit of a thriller, a bit of suspense. I think it's Jesse Plemons.
Okay. I like him.
Or wait, no, maybe I'm thinking of a completely different one. Yeah, I'm thinking of a completely different. I actually still have watched this one though, and it is very good. The actress is from It, the girl with the red hair.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is a superhero movie, but like
I am
a
not
superhero
okay
show,
this.
but not really. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, I will check it out. The next one was right up my alley. Spawn, the animated series. Spawn's my guy. I love this, and that animated series, I'll put that up against anything.
Anything.
That movie. Okay, the movie that came out in '97, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. But the animated series, the HBO animated series.
HBO animated series. I used to rent that at Blockbuster. I loved it. And I don't know, they need to reboot it. They need to reboot the cartoon. They need to make a show. They need to make a movie. They need to get Spawn back into the conversation because he is so freaking cool.
Yeah, it was like adult animated, very dark, HBO. It played late at night, and it was amazing.
Amazing.
Alphas, 2011 to 2012. Don't know what that is.
Never heard of it.
Another one we'll put in the Google machine afterwards. And Gargoyles. Yes.
Oh, yes.
94, 97. Why, Ricky, why have we not got a Gargoyles reboot?
I don't know. It was such a great show. I had the toys. Like, I don't know.
It was great.
They got to do it.
Everything. And this is Disney. Everything. What the heck, Disney? You're sitting on money.
It's coming. It's coming. Because they can do it, and they can do it really, really well.
I love that. I love this. Everything about that animated series just drew me in. I love the visual style. I love those characters, the story, the way that everything looked, and so cool, just cool. All right, number one. We've talked about it like 5 times throughout the list, so it had to be there. Yeah. Number one is The Boys. The Boys. I can't get enough. I can't get enough of this show. Started in 2019. We got another season. There's actually going to be a spin-off that's going to be kind of like a X-Men-esque training.
Yeah.
For Soups. I can't wait for that as well.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about this show? Is it just that it's just so different? Is it the I don't know.
I think that with the saturation of superhero content, we are looking for something that like scratches that itch but doesn't just copy paste the formula. And The Boys takes the superheroes and it says, okay, what if superheroes really existed in corporate America? This is how it would be. And it's exactly how it would be. Controlled by the corporations, selfish assholes with powers. I mean, it is a real, like, people who have that much power don't care about anybody else at some point. And this is something that a lot of like these superhero movies is like, they fail to admit. It's like people are not these perfect Captain Americas. They are imperfect, they are screwed up, they drink, they do drugs, and The Boys just gets to the heart of the human condition with slapping over these kind of superhuman qualities, and that's why it's so successful to me. It tells a real story about real people.
Absolutely. They do stuff that DC and Marvel can't because they're obviously very tied to their corporate image, and those characters can't go certain places, but with The Boys, they can make those characters
nothing off limits.
They could do whatever, and we would eat it up. Eat it up. Ricky, thank you so much. This has been always a blast to have you here on the program.
Always. Thanks, Matt. Anytime, I'll be back.
All right, folks, we're going to keep the fun going because it is time for our Mojo Chats of the Week.
Middle child, 2 brothers. We're actually very close, but they live in different states.
Only child.
Childhood obsessions. Christmas, magic.
The movie is titled Spoiler Alert, and spoiler alert, it's going to make you cry and laugh and all the roller coaster of emotions that go along with this. Who'd better to tell me all about it than some of the stars? We got Jim, we got Ben. Jim, going to start with you. People love some Jim Parsons, myself included. You got a big fan base out there.
Very kind.
Let them know what they can expect out of this one.
You can expect a very heartfelt, joyful, also tragic, ultimately uplifting story of humans dealing with love and life and all the left turns that come with that, and how going through all that as your true self makes your life a fuller, more wonderful thing. I sound like a Hallmark card.
Oh, yeah, but live for it. Live for that Hallmark
But it was true. It's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot going on here, Ben. I'll switch to you. Your character, obviously we're based on real people here. Is that a daunting task for you? How did you tackle that? Like did you consult with people, or was this something that you just ran with? Or
yeah, I think daunting is the right word. Shortly after knowing that I was playing Kit, I was sent home video footage of him. Him and Michael used to record each other a lot at different kind of momentous moments in their life. And I was sent a reel of that, and then also his memorial film as well. And yeah, I was hit by a very heavy wave of responsibility, really, of like doing it justice and kind of, yeah, and paying tribute to him in that way. And then I think was really helped and guided through the process by Jim and Michael Showalter and Michael Ausiello as well, who was always on set at the monitors as a producer, and really a very open, an open book, an open resource to help out with anything big and small, from on-set talks about how Kit might sit at any given moment, given the level of pain that he was in, to having kept Kit's personal objects. So like the camera that I'm using in the film, the black point and shoot, is Kit's actual camera. So it was a very powerful thing in those scenes, such as in Benny's Burritos scene, to actually be looking through that lens and taking a picture of Jim. It was very moving always.
Amazing. Well, I'll just say that you nailed it. So great job.
Thank you.
Jim, your character, there's this really wonderful scene where they're discovering that your character is obsessed with Smurfs. I'm curious, do you share the same affinity for Smurfs, or maybe something else?
No, not to the degree that the real life Michael Ausiello has an affinity for Smurfs. That is a love of a special nature and intensity.
Ben, are you a Smurf fanatic?
No, but
had you heard of them?
I knew what a Smurf was. Yeah, it was, and that's his real collection of Smurfs. That's a percentage of his actual collection. That
tip of the iceberg.
That was tip of the iceberg that was flown in. So that was kind of shocking. But yeah, not any obsessions like that.
Amazing. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, people are definitely going to enjoy this. We want to encourage them to check it out. It's called Spoiler Alert. Thank you so much, Jim and Ben. Always a pleasure.
Oh, Papa. I think you're very cool, and I'm worried that you're going to break my heart.
Mom, Dad, this is my friend, Mike.
A friend?
Yes, Mom, just a friend.
What is going on here? Who is this guy?
He's my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
We're talking spoiler alert, and it's this really wonderful, heartfelt movie that, spoiler alert, will get you to cry maybe more than once. Who better to tell me about it than the man that wrote the memoir that is based on. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to chat with you because this movie took me on a roller coaster of emotions. This is coming from you. This is a true story. What was your part in the making of the movie itself? I always wonder this when they take something that's already been written and they make a movie on it. What does the author do? Do you go on set? Are you being consulted?
Yeah, I mean, it's consultant, I think is a good way to put it, but a very hands-on consultant. I was on set every day, and I was collaborating with the actors and the director, and I even worked with the screenwriters to a certain extent in crafting the story. And that was one of the things when Jim Parsons expressed interest in optioning the book. I let him know right away that this was not going to be a situation where I sell the rights to the story and then walk away and let them do what they want. As much as I trusted and respected all of them, I was too protective of the story and too invested in it to be anything other than hands-on throughout the process.
So you mentioned Jim Parsons. His character's basically he's playing you. Yeah. How do you think he did? He's a fantastic actor, and I think he did fantastic, but I mean, he's playing you. That must be a weird thing.
It's super weird. It's super surreal. I think he did great. I like his version of me more than I like my version of me. He improved. Yeah. He improved on the original.
Well, listen, and him and Ben do a fantastic job with the movie, with the script. Was there a lot? I'm assuming when we do these adaptations, things kind of get changed around, or was there a lot of that, or did they stay pretty faithful to the memoir, the people that did read the book?
They stayed pretty faithful, and I've heard from folks who loved the book who have now seen the movie. And that was one of the common themes, and the reaction is that they were surprised at how faithful it was, because it usually doesn't happen that way. Usually the experiences are quite different, or a lot has been changed or fictionalized. I mean, there are some things, some deviations that were made for dramatic purposes, but essentially at the end of the day, it's very faithful to the book.
So the Smurf collection.
Why do you have to say it like that? Why do you have to say it like that?
Well, I
There's
asked
a judgment in your voice.
No, I asked Jim if he had the same affinity for Smurfs, and he said no. Ben said no. What was it about the Smurfs? I love. By the way, I love it. Trust me. Look, I got memorabilia behind me. I got.
Who are you to talk?
Exactly. I'm a comic book nerd. But what was it about the Smurfs?
I mean, it's my nostalgia. I mean, it's my childhood. It's an explosion of my childhood. And to be surrounded by it gives me comfort and joy. And the fact that we were able to include that in the movie means a lot. And, and that wasn't something that was, a slam dunk. We had to get the permission to use the Smurfs from the owners of the Smurfs. Even though the collection is mine, the IP, the intellectual property is not ours. We don't own that. So that was a big day when we got the permission to actually use the Smurfs.
It's a great scene with the discovery. Like I said, this movie is going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you think. Michael, great job with the book, and the movie's fantastic. Want to encourage everyone to check it out. Spoiler alert. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this edition, everybody. Big thanks going out to my man, Ricky Tucci. Always a blast having him on the show. And hey, Jim Parsons, Ben Aldridge, go check out their movie. Spoiler alert, so much amazing stuff happening there. And hey, speaking of amazing, thank you for watching and listening. I've been Mr. Hollywood, popping that culture.